Hello friends, back with another watch review video here. Well, this isn't actually much of a review, it's just kind of a quick look. So this is the Casio Oceanus OCW-T4000D-1AJF, which is quite a mouthful when it comes to model names. You can basically think of this as the one of the T4000 models in Casio's Oceanus range. So I'm just making this a quick video. This is actually going to be a present for my brother. He's finally graduated from clown college, so we're all just so proud of him, and thought we'd send him this watch to commemorate that. And he's kind of a world traveler, sort of a jet setter type, so I think this watch will be good for him. And yeah, I'll send him this video just as sort of a how to use this thing, and also just as an informational video because I think this is another one of those Japanese market only watches. So yes, as I mentioned, this is the OCW T4000D-1JF, basically part of the T4000 series. I think the bezel cover is what the bezel color rather is what distinguishes the different models in this range. So this is a titanium. I guess you could call it a sports watch, even though I don't know what sports you'd play while using this watch. It's titanium, sapphire, crystal. The Oceanus range is Casio's kind of high-end range of sort of traditional, three-hand watches with subdials. So let's see. First of all, the stats. It's the case size is 42.8 millimeters. It's only 11.9 millimeters thick, so pretty thin watch. And then it's 48.1 millimeters lug to lug. Body's titanium. The band is titanium. The band has a micro adjust clasp. So let's see. Sorry, my setup isn't great, but you can see if you pinch it in, you can adjust it. I think there's 3 sizes on the clasp like that. And sorry if I'm not demonstrating that especially clearly, but yeah, you can pull or push to make it slightly different sizes. And let's see, the weight is rated at 90 grams. I had the band adjusted to my wrist size plus a little bit, and it's down to only 80 grams. So this is a really, really light watch. And it's solar powered, so it's solar quartz, and it also has Bluetooth connectivity as well as radio connectivity. So it's a quite advanced watch, has a really nice feature set. So you can see right now we're in timekeeping mode. This is just a normal, hour hand, minute hand, seconds. You can see in the 9 o'clock subdial that it's on, so it's showing the T, so that says that it's Tuesday. On the 3 o'clock side, there's a date window there, so it's the 19th. And on the 12 o'clock subdial at the top, it's a little hard to see because it's 12 o'clock right now, but that's a 24-hour dial for the current time. So then this is timekeeping mode, and then you see there's a pusher down here at let's see, what is this, 7 o'clock? Or 8 o'clock, I should say. There's sort of a discrete hidden pusher down there, so if you press it in, you have to kind of give it a firm press. Am I doing that? No. It's a little, I think it makes it a little tough to push just because it wants to reject when you're pushing it just because it's on your wrist. But let's see, I need to give that a good solid push. There we go. So now the second hand is moved to 12 o'clock, and now it's in chronograph mode. So if I press the top pusher, or the one at 2 o'clock, it's starting chronograph mode. So you can see on the right hand on the 9 o'clock subdial, it's pointing to ST for stopwatch. So now it's measuring time when I push this. And you can stop it again by pressing the 2 o'clock pusher. And then you can start it again, like so. And it's just going to operate as a traditional chronograph. So you can use that as a stopwatch to time whatever you want. And you can see the bottom subdial, right now both hands are at 12 o'clock. It'll tick over the minute hand every minute for every minute that you measure. And then the hour hand for every hour that you measure. And I believe the minute hand is kind of obscuring it, but there's also a small subdial next to that one that has the AM PM indicator. I think that after 12 hours that will flip from AM to PM. So effectively what you have here is a chronograph that can measure up to 24 hours, which is, I think quite handy. I kind of, I know people use chronographs for different purposes, but I really like the idea if you want to measure something long, like a long bus ride or a plane ride or something, you can measure that with no problem. So yeah, it goes up to 12 hours in chronograph mode right here. So I will stop it with that button again, and then you reset it by pressing the pusher at 4 o'clock. So now I've reset it, the minute hand went back to 0, second hand went back to 0. And then I can change back the time mode by pressing the 7 o'clock, or I should say 8 o'clock pusher right there. So one thing before I do that, notice on the way back, the bottom, the 9 o'clock subdial, it will indicate H, M, or L. This is how you check the charge on the solar cell. So if it's, I think it's at high right now. I've been keeping it in the sun for a while. So if I press that, on its way back, it should indicate the charge level. So let's give that a good press. And yeah, I'm still getting used to that. There we go, okay. So you can see it's going to high. Okay, great, it's at a high charge, that's nice. And now we're back to timekeeping mode. And of course, it remembers what second it is. It doesn't have to reset the second hand. So then you can see the bottom subdial, which you may have noticed right there, that's an alternate time zone. I think the documentation calls it a world time, but I don't know if that's quite accurate if you look at what its traditional world time watch is. But I don't know. In any case, yeah, you can keep track of an alternate time zone using that bottom subdial. So I have it set to, I think, let's see, Paris time zone right now. I think if I pull the crown out 2 clicks, you'll see on the flange here, the inner bezel, there's all these time zone indicators. So if I pull that, I think 2 clicks will show that, okay, 2 clicks is showing my current time zone, TYO for Tokyo. So I think I'm going to push them back in. If I can just get 1 click. There we go. Yes. Okay. So we can see the second hand is pointing the PAR for Paris. So I can say if I want to track another time zone, if I want to track Athens right there, or maybe I can go to London. I think the top is UTC. And so I'll set it to say London right now. And you can see the subdial is, yeah, switching between those. So actually, I'll keep it on London for the time being. So I'll press that in, and then I'm back to normal time mode. And then one cool thing you can do, you can swap the main face, and you can swap the main dial and the subdial by just holding down this top pusher at 2 o'clock for a couple seconds. So if I do that, you can see now it's switching. The main dial is switching to London time, and my subdial is switching to Japanese time, and it rotates really fast. So that's quite handy. Maybe I'll switch them back just for effect. And the other additional piece of functionality I wanted to talk about, this does have radio sync if you're in an area where that's available. So that's Japan, a good chunk of North America, I think a fair deal of Europe, depending on where you are. And I can check let's see, I think if I press the bottom pusher right here, I can check the most recent attempt to connect to the radio tower. So it's going to say N, no, because I switched the time zones. And I think once you switch the time zone on the main dial, it will always say, okay, I don't know for sure what time it is. So it will tell you it didn't sync. So you can sync it manually by pressing this bottom pusher here for, I think, 3 or 4 seconds. In fact, I'll try that now. So now it's going to RC. That means it's listening in for the radio transmissions. And I think I'm going to cancel that because it usually takes about a minute. It sort of has to stay stationary for a long period of time. And there's also, I haven't tested it out, there's also a Bluetooth app which you can use to control this watch. So I think that'll give you all the functionality. It will let you set what time zone it's at. I think it will let you sync the time maybe several times a day automatically and on demand. So this watch has just tons and tons of functionality. It's very light. I like the styling a lot. The hands are very sharp. It's very easy to see what time it is. Very well made, kind of polished titanium. You know, I think a lot of people were kind of surprised that Casio makes watches like this, but they are mostly only available in the Japanese market, but I know there's a sort of an enthusiast following for them overseas as well. I went for this particular model because I wanted to, I thought having the chronograph available with a pusher on the watch is a lot nicer. I think, and maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think other Oceanus watches require you to pull the crown to go into chronograph mode to start the chronograph. And I personally, I think having to pull the crown to access functionality for the watch while it's on your wrist is always kind of hard. Pulling the crown when it's on your wrist, I'd find difficult. Maybe you have longer fingernails, it's not an issue, but I personally don't like having to do that. So I thought, I think it's only this T4000 series and maybe some of the other Oceanus series that have this. There are like even fancier Oceanus watches, but I think they all require you to pull the crown like that to access the chronograph. So that's why I went with this one. So anyway, I hope my brother, hope he enjoys this watch. Hope he'll be able to wear it as he jet sets around the world, putting that education to good use. So That should be it for the Oceanus. So I'll see everybody next time.